The invasion. The stars had always been a promise of wonder, a canvas of infinite possibilities. But on that fateful day in 2045, they became harbingers of doom. I was Captain Elias Thorne, a veteran of Earth's fractured conflicts. Wars over resources, borders, and ideologies that now seem trivial. At 35, I commanded an orbital defense station, the ISS Vanguard, orbiting high above the Pacific. My crew and I monitored the skies for asteroids, space debris, and the occasional rogue satellite. We never expected visitors. It started with anomalies. Telescopes picked up distortions in the Oort cloud, ripples in space-time that defied our physics. Scientists buzzed with excitement. First contact? Aliens. The media spun tales of peaceful explorers. Governments prepared diplomatic protocols. But I, with my scarred hands from ground wars in the Middle East and Africa, knew better. Peace was a luxury. Survival was the rule. The fleet arrived without warning. Massive ships, angular and obsidian black, materialized from hyperspace folds. They were the Xarath, tall, insectoid beings with chitinous exoskeletons, compound eyes that gleamed like polished obsidian, and limbs that ended in razor-sharp claws. Their technology was eons ahead, energy shields that bent light, weapons that vaporized matter at the atomic level. They broadcasted a single message in every human language: surrender your world. Your species is inefficient. We claim it for the Hive. Panic erupted on Earth. Cities lit up with riots. Leaders scrambled alliances. The United Nations reformed into the Terran Defense Coalition overnight. I watched from orbit as the first strikes hit. Xarath dropships pierced the atmosphere, unleashing swarms of drones that carpet-bombed megacities. New York, Beijing, London, reduced to craters in hours. Billions died in the opening salvo. My station was among the first to fight back. We had experimental railguns and nuclear-tipped missiles, relics of Cold War paranoia upgraded for space. Fire everything. I barked into the comms. Beams lanced out, shattering a Xarath cruiser. Cheers echoed in the control room. But retaliation was swift. A plasma bolt sheared off our port side, venting atmosphere. Alarms blared as we spun wildly. I sealed bulkheads, watching crewmates sucked into the void. By miracle or grit, I stabilized the station and limped it back to lunar orbit. That was day one. The war had begun. In the months that followed, humanity rallied. We weren't the primitive apes the Xarath assumed. Our history was forged in fire, world wars, pandemics, climate catastrophes. We adapted. Factories churned out starfighters from repurposed aircraft carriers. Scientists reverse-engineered captured Xarath tech, grafting it onto our ships. I was reassigned to the ground, leading guerrilla strikes in the ruins of Europe. The Xarath were relentless. Their hive mind coordinated attacks with perfect precision, no fear, no mercy. They terraformed captured lands into breeding hives, spawning legions from organic vats. But humans? We were chaotic, inventive. We'd booby-trap ruins with EMP mines, hack their drones with jury-rigged viruses, and launch suicide runs with nuclear backpacks that I lost my left eye in Berlin, shredded by shrapnel from a collapsing hive. Replaced it with a cybernetic implant that let me see in infrared, handy for night raids. Years blurred. By year 5, we'd pushed them off Earth, reclaiming continents one bloody meter at a time. The cost? Half our population gone. Families shattered, ecosystems poisoned. My wife, Lena, a medic in the Pacific Theater, vanished in an orbital bombardment. I searched debris fields for months, finding only her dog tags. Grief fueled me. I rose through ranks, becoming General Thorne, commander of the Sol System fleet. But the Xarath adapted too. They learned our tactics, anticipated our desperation. Reinforcements poured from their empire, blockading our colonies on Mars and Europa. We fought in zero-G, on frozen moons, in the vacuum of space. Humanity's spirit shone. Pilots like Ace Ramirez, who flew a crippled fighter into a Xarath mothership, detonating its core. Engineers like Dr. Mei Ling, who invented the Thorne Drive, a warp engine that let us strike their supply lines. Yet, the toll mounted. Friends fell, Ramirez vaporized in a dogfight, Mei Ling executed in a POW camp. I stood on the bridge of the USS Defiant, watching Earth from afar, scarred but unbowed. We're not done yet, I whispered. Little did I know, The war was just entering its darkest phase. The endless siege. By year 8, the war had evolved into a siege of attrition. The Xarath controlled the outer system. Jupiter's moons became their fortresses, asteroid belts mined with antimatter traps. Earth and Mars held, but barely. Rationing was universal. Children grew up knowing only bunkers and drills. I coordinated from the Lunar Command Center, a sprawling underground complex honeycombed into the moon's regolith. Our breakthroughs came from unlikely sources. Captured Xarath prisoners, rare, as they self-destructed upon defeat, revealed weaknesses. Their hive relied on queen signals. Disrupt those, and drones faltered. We developed psychic jammers, devices that broadcast neural static. In the Battle of Ganymede, I led a fleet insertion, planting jammers in their core hives. Chaos ensued. Drones turned on each other. Ships collided. We reclaimed the moon, but at what cost? My second-in-command, Colonel Arya Voss, sacrificed herself to hold the line. Her dropship rammed into a queen chamber. Humanity's ingenuity peaked. We bioengineered viruses targeting Xarath chitin, turning their armor against them. Nanobots swarmed their engines, corroding from within. But they countered with biological warfare, plagues that mutated human DNA, causing agonizing transformations. Cities like New Moscow became quarantine zones, inhabitants clawing at their skin as limbs elongated into grotesque parodies. I aged in those years, hair graying, body laced with prosthetics. A robotic arm from a skirmish on Titan, enhanced lungs to filter toxic atmospheres. Nightmares plagued me. Lena's face in the debris, friends' screams in vacuum. But doubt? Never. HFY graffiti adorned our ships. Humanity fuck yeah. A rallying cry from ancient internet memes, now etched in blood. Year 10 brought the turning tide offensive. We struck their homeworld relay in the Kuiper Belt, a massive station amplifying Queen commands. I piloted the lead ship, the Defiant 2, dodging plasma storms. For Earth, the crew chanted. We breached the hull, fighting corridor by corridor. Xarath warriors swarmed, their claws rending armor. I faced a praetor, an elite guard towering over me. It hissed, "Primitive ape, your end." I replied with a vibro-knife to its thorax, twisting until ichor sprayed. The relay exploded, severing their coordination. Across the system, Xarath forces fragmented. We pressed the advantage, liberating colonies, pushing them back to Pluto's orbit. Celebrations erupted, premature, as always. Their emperor, a colossal queen mother, broadcasted defiance. "We are legion. You are finite." The siege dragged on. By year 12, resources dwindled. Earth's farms were irradiated, Mars' domes cracked. Mutinies flared among troops, whispers of surrender. I quashed them, executing deserters publicly. Harsh. Yes. Necessary. Absolutely. In HFY tales, heroes were unbreakable. I became that myth, hiding my fractures that a personal blow. My son, born posthumously from Lena's frozen eggs, died in a raid on Venus outposts. He was 10, training as a cadet. I buried him on Luna, vowing vengeance. The war consumed everything: love, hope, humanity itself. We became as ruthless as our foes. Glassing Xarath held worlds without remorse. The breaking point. Year 13. Desperation bred innovation. We uncovered ancient Xarath archives on a derelict ship, revealing their empire's fragility. Overextended, plagued by internal rebellions. If we struck their core worlds, the hive might collapse. Operation Final Dawn. A armada jumped to Alpha Centauri, their nearest stronghold. I commanded from the flagship, the Terra Invicta. Crewed by the best, survivors from every theater. The jump was harrowing. Thorne drives strained, ships lost in warp anomalies. Emerging in enemy space, we faced a armada tenfold ours. Battles raged for weeks. Dogfights in nebulae, boarding actions on dreadnoughts. I lost more than allies. I lost faith. Witnessing atrocities, Xarath vivisecting captives, humans retaliating with chemical burns. Was this victory? Or mutual annihilation? In a quiet moment, staring at stars, I pondered, what if we were the invaders in another tale? The breaking point came on Rigel Prime, a Xarath forge world. Ground assault. I led elite squads through acid rains, hives teeming with larvae. We planted singularity bombs, devices that collapsed matter into black holes. Detonation imminent, but a queen ambushed us. Her psychic assault pierced minds, forcing visions of defeat. Crewmates turned guns on themselves. I resisted, my cybernetics shielding me. Not today, I growled, unloading a plasma rifle into her maw. She fell, but not before goring my side. Evacuating, I watched Rigel Prime implode, a star winking out. The Empire reeled, fleets recalled, leaving Sol vulnerable no more. But victory's price, our armada decimated. Returning home, we found Earth besieged anew. A rogue Xarath faction, unbound by the Hive, launched kamikaze runs. Cities burned again. Mars fell, its domes shattered. I crash-landed on Earth, the last ship intact. Survivors dwindled. Plagues, starvation, radiation. By year 14, governments collapsed. I wandered ruins, scavenging, fighting feral Xarath stragglers. Allies became ghosts. Voss, Ramirez, May, all gone. Isolation gnawed. Radio static my only companion. In the Himalayas, I found a bunker, stocked with cryosleep pods. Tempted to sleep until rescue. That never came. Instead, I fought on, sabotaging Xarath remnants. One by one they fell. But so did humans. The last broadcast, this is President Carla Ruiz. We're the final holdout. Godspeed. Silence followed. The last stand. Year 15 dawned in ash. I stood atop Everest's ruins. Wait. No. The Rockies, warped by bombardments. The air thin, poisoned. My body a patchwork. Scars, implants, willpower. Scanners showed no human life signs. Billions reduced to one. The Xarath? Scattered, broken. Their empire crumbled from our strikes, internal wars finishing them. But stragglers hunted me, the legend, the unyielding ape. I became a ghost, striking from shadows. Final confrontation. A Xarath warlord landed in the American wasteland, seeking to claim the prize, Earth's core, for rebuilding. I ambushed his camp, grenades and lasers blazing. Drones fell, warriors shredded. Facing the warlord, a behemoth with augmented limbs. You are alone, it chittered. Surrender. I laughed, bloodied but defiant. Alone? I've got 7 billion ghosts with me. Charged, dodging claws, firing point blank. It impaled my shoulder. I severed its head with my vibro arm. Victory. But hollow. Standing amid corpses, I gazed at the horizon. Earth scarred, but enduring. Stars above, empty now. Was I the last? Scans confirmed. No signals, no life. Yet, hope flickered. In bunkers, perhaps cryosleepers. In the void, colony ships that escaped. I rebuilt a transmitter, broadcasting. This is Elias Thorne, last human. But humanity endures. Fuck yeah. I wandered, planting seeds in fertile craters, repairing tech. If aliens came again, they'd find not ruins, but a testament. We fought. We won. Alone, I stood, not defeated, but eternal. The war ended. The legend began.